I built Cities Skylines 2's. Yeah. I built Cities Skylines 2's largest city, and you destroyed it. I expect nothing less of Funny Frogman. Where is he? Oh. Wait a minute.
Hello, sir. Wait. Hey! Hello again. Welcome to Poopville.
I feel like advertisers are going to have a field day with that.
A few weeks ago, the wonderful people over at Paradox Interactive gave me access to an early build of Cities Skylines 2.
Oh no. Oh no.
And then, they put me on a crane. We'll talk about that later.
Was that the short where he was streaming 50 meters in the air?
In Cities Skylines 2, you build cities, construct townships, move people around with mass transit networks, and try your absolute hardest to not murder hundreds of thousands of people with a tsunami.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of poo. Since this is an early pre-release of the game, only a select few people can actually play it, which gave me a devilish idea. Without too much effort, I can probably make the largest city the game has ever seen.
Right.
And then, I can commit unspeakable atrocities upon my glorious creation.
You know, this is just a regular... This just makes sense for him. This makes perfect sense, and I love it.
So, let us begin.
No, the lettuce! We're back to the lettuce! Do not step
Wanting
in the
to start
hotel
things
bin.
off properly, I began the game with tutorials.
Oh.
Move with these keys. Tilt the camera with these keys. Build roads like this. Zoning. And before I knew it, I had built the beginning of a small town, burgeoning with life, ready to take on the future.
Inhabited by the brightest of a new generation.
Oh.
A town of bustling opportunities, limitless growth.
What?
Yep. That's, yeah.
There's a layer to this. There's layers to this. It's perfect.
Unlike the first game, I had no limit on the amount of terraforming I could do, which meant I could do things like this. For the city's road network, I had conceived an incredible solution to traffic. Triangles.
Oh.
This amazing technology makes every single intersection in the city 6 ways. You might think this is very stupid, and it is, but what's even stupider is this type of intersection actually exists in real life.
Yes, it does. Oh boy, does it.
And where else would it exist than beautiful, sunny
California.
Los Angeles?
Yeah, it's California, yeah. As somebody that used to live in Cali, yeah, I remember. Yeah, these intersections exist.
Real intersection is even worse than these ones, though, because it doesn't have any traffic lights.
Stop, go!
Just 6 stop signs. What the fuck? With traffic 100% solved forever, I could move on to more important things.
I mean, it's not, I don't know, it's one of those I would have to drive super defensively at one, but I could probably do it.
Schools, police stations, water infrastructure, fire stations, and most importantly, somewhere
A
to
boat?
put all the poo.
Boat?
How about,
Water.
here?
Oh.
Once the poo had been successful routed into
Oh.
the poo-cano, it was only a matter of time until it filled. Well, a matter of very long time. I spent about another hour on the city, and by then it had filled to about here.
Huh.
Not very high.
No.
And that meant it was time to drink. Placing a
What?
water pump inside the poo-cano resulted in fresh poo being delivered directly to people's taps, which caused the...
Blech, gross. Oh my god. Me as a person that used to play Pandemic on the Flash version of it, right? In middle school before class, because, oh man, I remember that. I'm just getting flashbacks of the difficulty easy, no one washes their hands. It's, oh man, that was gross.
the entire city to either pack up and leave or die. Well, Poopville was no more.
Oh.
And with that, we move on to attempt 2. Gentlemen, welcome to Peniston.
Oh. Peniston, oh no. Hey, why is it just Pittsburgh? Allegedly.
This city went a little better than Poopville. A little. This time, I spent a bit longer learning the basic principles of the game, and examined things that had been changed from Cities Skylines 1. Things like much larger, really nice looking service buildings, like this coal plant. Ooh. Or this landfill? I checked out the new zoning, pedestrian-only streets, the grid tool, and of course, radio announcements telling you what's going on in the city.
The
That's kinda
commercial
cool.
district is booming.
More radio announcements.
So a housing shortage is bad for the people trying to move here, right?
And my personal favorite,
There's a widespread concern over fears that an insidious underground criminal organization has seized control of the area.
Recent crime stats confirm that the crime wave has certainly gripped our region.
I feel like he would have issues with cats. I feel like if he at least in universe, right? I know he has cats. His cats look really cool.
And it's showing no signs of letting up.
I don't like the sound of that, Glenda.
We'll be back after this.
all of this was great. So I flattened a bit of land and got to work on the next area. I did a bit of bus stuff, zoned a bunch of housing, built these terrible, awful roads connecting everything, and then people started drinking poo again.
Nice. There's a running theme here, I feel. There's a running theme with this. What do you think, chat?
Fucking goddamn shit. Attempt 3. Before attempt 3 began, I had a few things to do. Namely, fly all the way to Germany, hang out for a few days, and then get hoisted 50 meters into the air by a crane. Now that we're in position, it was time to begin our fabulous new city.
You know, I would do that. I would do that. I would be 50 foot in the air like that. I know there's people who definitely wouldn't. As long as I'm strapped in, I'd be fine. I would do that.
Naming this new city, I tried to think of a name that inspired greatness. A name that made me think. Gentlemen,
Boat?
behold, the grand city of... This time, I wasn't going to
My God. Oh, older microwaves do hit different.
keep messing around. This time, I would research the ins and outs of city building, and I would construct a wonderful, perfect, flawless utopian city. So first things first, I did some research. And with that research completed, here are my findings. So, we want to build the largest possible city. A city that has an extremely high population, all buying products, driving their car, and most importantly, pooping out their butt.
Yeah.
Well, to get to that point, our new city of couldn't just be a huge grid with nothing but apartment buildings. Believe me, I tried. No one moved in.
Oh.
This city needed to be attractive. People had to actually want to move in. And that substantially complicates things. So, why would a citizen want to move here? Well, maybe they've got a good job, or the amenities are nice, the shops sell cool stuff, the city services are reliable, it's safe, there are dudes that be selling that good Zaza, plenty of crack, and a pleasant location to gamble away my kid's college fund, hookers on every street corner. The reasons one might want to live in a city are truly endless. So we have to try to accommodate as many as possible. First and foremost, they need somewhere to live. So let's build some roads, zone them for low-density residential, and wait.
One.
Hooray! Our first citizen, the Pooh Man. If I wanted the Pooh Man to actually stay in this city, I needed to build a few service buildings. A groundwater pump for pumping groundwater. A windmill for milling wind. An industrial sector for people to work at. And then I had to decide on a place to put the poo.
In the water again. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, I'll put it here. Once that was all done, I zoned a few more things and then just sort of sat back and watched my creation do its magic. I even found
Dog.
a dog.
Bar.
And there we go.
Bow bow.
Our first milestone. Ooh. This milestone unlocked a few new service buildings. I placed down a medical clinic, a cemetery, an elementary school, a landfill. The city of...
People in chat have taken the microwave memes. The most recent one was if you're cold, they're cold. Put your ice in the deep fryer. So about that, I used to allegedly do that. Allegedly. And other people I used to work with allegedly do that. Sometimes service nights just got hectic. And what else would you do? Just throw ice in the fryer. Everyone has a laugh. It was actually really funny if this happened, which it definitely didn't happen.
was definitely making me go... With the city now growing quite quickly, came even more unlocked. Roundabouts, fire stations, police stations, higher density housing, specialized industry, and before I knew it, had reached 1,000 population.
Nice.
And nighttime.
Oh.
Nighttime in this game looks quite nice. Now,
It really
the build I
does.
was playing on was quite an early
The lighting graphic engine actually worked really well at night. It looks really pretty.
one. which meant it came with a few bugs here and there. My
Spinning
favorite
roach!
of which being gas stations with, rather powerful lights. So, what next? Well, now the city had reached 1,000 population, I had to do something truly awful.
Oh.
I had to start thinking. You see, in the first game, all big cities had one common struggle. Traffic. If I
Right.
wanted the city to be truly huge, I had to get on top of traffic before it became an issue. So,
As a resident of Idaho, this rings incredibly true. Our traffic situation is absolutely just effed. It's not even funny. Like, and that's the thing is we've had years to update the infrastructure. We've had years that we could have stopped this from becoming an actual thing and, you know, actually put budget into increasing roads because we knew it was going to get big, but we chose not to. So now we're in a situation where traffic is awful. So this strikes a really personal chord with me as somebody who lives with this.
of course, I did some more research. Holy shit. Roads. Roads on the surface may seem simple enough. Get them wrong, and disaster will follow.
Right.
So, how do you not get them wrong? Well, by following a few basic principles of road networks. First being, roadway hierarchy. You probably already have a vague idea of what this means. Obviously, a highway has a pretty different purpose than the road that goes to your house.
Yes.
The hierarchy goes like this. Highways, then arterial roads, then collectors, and then local roads. They don't necessarily need different numbers of lanes or higher speed or really anything distinguishing them. The distinction is more about where they are in the network
Right.
than what they actually look like.
Right.
Each step down the hierarchy trades off mobility, or how fast you can get from point A to B, with access, or how many things you can put on that road.
Yeah.
Local roads have the highest access, but lowest mobility, while highways have the highest mobility with the lowest access.
It's why when you're going between, say, for example, if you're going between Twin Falls, Idaho up to Rigby, Idaho, right? Or Idaho Falls, right? How there's like a stretch of freeway, right? Or anywhere. I mean, you could argue this with anywhere. Any one big city to another big city. It's why, you see, rest stops every now and again, right? But that's, you have the highest mobility, the highest, ability to get from point A to point B, and you're not necessarily having to access anything unless it's, you're needing to stop off somewhere, like maybe Chubbuck, right? And to get gas, food, etc., what have you, versus something like, the roads leading up to where the SCA event that I went to, Uprising, right? Was it Uprising? I think it was Uprising, yeah. Where we went to Uprising, how it's like you have these local roads and, there's like housing there and it leads back onto a main road, which leads back into town, right? It makes sense how it branches down.
Speaking of highways, hey, there's a highway right there.
Car!
So, back to the city of... We can see that these basic road principles have already been used. This road here is an arterial road. We've got some collectory looking dudes off to the side here, and all our houses are placed nicely along local roads.
Yeah.
Next up, another neighborhood. An arterial road up here, and... Wonderful. As our city grew larger, we unlocked even more stuff.
Yeah.
This stuff is quite important, since we need to keep our citizens happy so more move in. In order to keep our citizens happy, I had devised a devious plan.
Oh.
Fuck that.
Oh, ow! Ow!
With the city sufficiently, lathered in parks, I could add more stuff. An industrial area here, some mixed-use developments over here, a college here, an experimental pedestrian-only street with...
No, you did not just pull it. I did not just hear that. No, there's no fucking way.
area here, some mixed-use developments over here, a college here, an
No, not that I know what that noise is. No, sir. Not that I know what that noise is. Absolutely not at all. Nope. I don't know what that is, Chad. I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea what that noise is. Never heard it before in my life.
experimental pedestrian-only street with shops over here, and before I knew it, 5,000 population. At this point in the game, issues start cropping up.
Well, yeah.
Like our cash flow is still negative, or there's a little bit of traffic, or there's a giant forest fire bearing down on the city. Yeah, I'm sure all that's fine.
Yeah,
We're
that's
going
fine.
to take the noble path and completely ignore it.
It's fine.
You see, in Cities Skylines, road design and layout will only get you so far in fighting traffic. The best way to stop jams is for there to be no cars there in the first place. Gentlemen, it was time to busy ourselves with public transit.
Honestly, his Oh, I've heard stories about the New York subway. I've heard stories about New York subway. Oh my god, it's so good. His videos are flowing a lot better. I love it because seeing his early works, now seeing these works, right? His videos flow a lot better, and he's able to throw in really cool and funny quips like the sussy college noise and the jam right mid sentence. Like he's getting really good. Nice.
At our small scale, we only really have the capacity to add buses. So we'll add some buses. I remember first playing Cities Skylines 1 and spamming the shit out of buses absolutely everywhere. Doing this resulted in bus lines that look something like this.
Oh.
Now yes, this line does in fact service a lot of people, but if you live here and want to go here, instead of the bus going straight there, it goes here, then around here, and then stops here, and finally arrives here.
Yeah.
This system is dumb.
Uh-huh.
It's far better to have a bus that just goes from one point to another in the city and then stops in between.
Uh-huh.
With that said, here's my first bus route. It takes people from the apartments to the industrial area and back. Simple. Now, of course, the whole point of doing this is to allow people to get around without using their car.
They drive on the left side. It's throwing me off. I know that's literally how it works in the rest of the world, but it's throwing me off.
The vast majority of people, when given the choice between a bus and a car, all else equal, will almost always choose a car. This is great if you want your city to look like this, but I don't. So we need to make the bus a viable alternative.
Yes.
We can do this with bus lanes to prioritize bus traffic, or by not providing parking near the destination so they can't drive there. What's more important, however, is that the public transit system has layers to it. Public transit isn't...
I would eat that sandwich. I would actually just like chow down on that sandwich with the layers.
just buses. It's also trams, metro, ferries, trains, and even aircraft.
Zoom.
All these systems should mesh together to provide a viable alternative to just getting in your car
Right.
and driving to your destination.
No, he's absolutely not wrong. I mean, so here's the thing is that like Idaho has a bus network, but the issue with Idaho is that like it doesn't go to a lot of areas, and in the areas that does go, it goes to specific areas. And why would people just not drive? Now, we're an example of Idaho being a farming state, you know, even in more populated areas, you know, that people are just going to drive everywhere. We don't really have bike lanes, you know, certain downtown areas do, but for all intents and purposes, we really don't have bike lanes. We don't have, you know, busing. We don't really have trains. Like we have trains that pass through specific cities, right? But I mean, like they're commercial, right? You know, they're for hauling stuff, right? Like lumber, timber, soil, chemicals, etc. So lumber, timber, same thing. But yeah, no, you have to make it so that your average person is going to find it easy to use to incentivize alternative methods of public transport rather than just having a car and then clogging up everything even more.
The end result? Well, hopefully, not this. With the beginnings of a public transit network laid out came rezoning. If I wanted the city to be the largest the game had ever seen, these single-family homes were no good.
Nah.
In their place, I zoned for mixed use, which are just apartment blocks with shops on the bottom. Instead of housing 4 or 5 people, mixed-use developments can house 60 to 80. Of course, I couldn't rezone everything at once, so I just did it gradually.
Right.
Bulldozing Grandma's house, only every so often.
Yeah.
With more population, once again, came more unlocks. This time, we'd unlocked the office space. Why work in a dangerous, hazardous manufacturing job when you can just sit on a computer and slap a keyboard for 8 hours a day?
I mean, that's the thing. So here's the thing, because I've thought about this too, and I've thought about how privileged a position I am in. I mean, absolutely, I'm not working in a kitchen. I'm not working blue collar like I used to. I'm not working asset protection. I'm not going to say where, but I used to work asset protection. I'm not working finance. You know, I'm not working these societal jobs. For all intents and purposes, I'm selling my time on the internet as an entertainer. As if you want to look at that as a job title, as a, you know, what do you do as career? I want advertising too. I sell my time, you know, online. This is what I do. And you ultimately, at the end of the day, you still need your blue collar workers. You still need your, God, I wish I worked at Blockbusters. That would have been absolutely legendary. You still need your kitchen staff. You know, there's a strong argument, and this is not me hating that sector. There's a very strong argument people have brought up to disband the service sector, that the service sector just needs to die. So like, you know, you go out to your coffee shop and, you know, people wait on you, they hand you your coffee, stuff like that. There has been argument that sector should just go under, and I think it might fix certain things, but it also will cause problems for other things, right? Because it's not just Karen that, you know, needs her soy latte. You know, it's not. It's a lot of other people. How many blue collar workers in chat Have you gone to like a 7-Eleven, got like, you know, one of those weird hot dog tornado things, right? And you're just like, dude, this is the best shit ever. So as not even from a civilization standpoint, as a city evolves and just as a society and community evolves, I mean, you have to like pay attention to your farmers. You have to pay attention to your blue collar. You have to pay attention to your service sector. You have to pay attention to your industrial sector. You have to pay attention to, you know, I mean, yeah, you have to pay attention to finance. Yeah, you have to pay attention to, you know, business jobs, corporate execs, etc. But, you know, you start running into issues like Idaho specifically. I've lived in Idaho for a long period of time, and there's actually a huge stigma in Idaho where if you're from California, they will just inherently dislike you. I fall in the category of I've been here since 2004. I've been here long enough that I just kind of write off their arguments as, I mean, you're just coping, bro. Like, I've been here longer than most people. And I used to remember when like everywhere around me was farmland. Everywhere. Houses hadn't even come in yet. You know, God, I don't even think. No, I think that house up the road did get demolished, actually. I keep walking by that area every day, and I keep totally spacing that there used to be a house there. And so a lot of it has, as he's talking about rezoning, a lot of it has been rezoned, or a lot of it has been, you know, taken and converted, you know. So where we have, you know, Fred Meyer's, you know, now we have, you know, more doctors' clinics. Now we have, you know, little strip mall kind of things for food, right? And it's very wild just to see how it's catering to this middle class, upper middle class, and where you worked where I was at with finance specifically, how it's catering to this executive lifestyle. They just put in a giant fuck off golf course there. And I'm just like, well, it was a driving range, so it wasn't a fuck off golf course. It was a driving range specifically. And I'm just like, is there nothing else useful you could have put here? Did it have to be a driving range? It couldn't have been anything else. You could have put a bar here, called it Bub's Bar, right? And then all the finance workers would have got off and spent their paychecks there. So there is something to be said for rezoning. There's also something to be said for public transport and who you're paying attention to in regards to as a community develops. And you'll start seeing these shifts towards favoring, you know, the quote unquote people with the money, right? Blue collar workers are some of the hardest workers I have ever seen. Honestly, they're some of the smartest workers I've ever seen. I've worked with people in finance that were dumb as rocks. They really were. And they would actually give out incorrect information, and I would have to fix the situation. And then I would pass off that incorrect information in regards to my team lead, right? And management. Nothing ever really got done about it, don't get me wrong. I've seen people that work in blue collar that are way smarter. So it's not necessarily where you work, it's just who you are as a person in your own work ethic. And it is a very large issue that's pretty near and dear to me, just to see things like this evolve. Obviously, this is a great video. This is just a commentary on how things actually work.
Hey, wait a minute. Offices have a few advantages over industries. The important one being, they don't produce pollution.
Nice.
This means that we can place them wherever we want. They also employ a higher proportion of educated workers. This is good when your city has a high level of education. Mine doesn't, but it's nice to think that maybe someday it will.
It's just the high school map from Phasmophobia. I look at the high school map and I'm like, damn, it's where I went to school. Where I went to school was a little bit of a step up from the high school Phas map, but not by much. Aesthetically, it was a step up from what it felt like it was there.
In the meantime, though, the citizens needed to be put back to work. Oh, shit. In particular, we needed more industry. Perhaps like this chemical plant building thing, which looks really cool. And what a drink, whatever funny liquid it produces.
Funny liquid. His editing here is on point. What? Oh no. It just reminds me of the scene from Pick of Destiny where Jack Black eats the mushrooms in the forest. I haven't seen that movie forever. Yeah.
Oh, fuck. In that time I spent doing whatever it was that I was doing, the city had managed to pass the 15,000 population milestone.
Nice.
Nice. Oh yeah, and
Big
I was still on the crane. Guys, it's been
I
a
would
long
do this. I would play something like Siege up on this. That'd be so cool.
time. Guys, can you please let me down, please, guys? Everything in was going perfectly. The commercial district was
The commercial district is booming as the
industry was on the rise.
Industry in the region is on the rise, and when
A housing shortage was driving up prices in the area.
housing shortage is driving up prices in the area.
Oh my god, yes, I get it. Do these radio announcers ever shut the fuck up?
No, Martin, we don't shut up.
Oh my god, that's perfect. Oh, I don't like it. I don't like it.
Martin,
Okay, I need to save that in my meme library for a video. Though. That was actually kind of great. Well, need to watch that again. Yeah.
Martin, time is running out. The citizens demanded Martin. The citizens want poo. Martin,
Yes.
the Poocano is calling.
No, why are you
Yes.
saying
The
no, this isn't
Poocano
right. Stop,
is
please.
calling.
Stop.
Martin,
Stop, please.
Martin,
Please stop.
Martin,
Go away.
Martin,
What are you talking about? I like the city. No, please.
Built,
No,
built,
no, I don't want to fly with poo. No. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Well,
Yeah.
I hit this new milestone.
Nice.
Built this bridge thing. Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Martin,
Okay, well, maybe we should try a port. You know, because it's got like the funny.
The funny.
You know, the funny.
The funny, guys. It's the funny. It's right there. It's the funny.
You know, the funny water vehicle. You know, the funny. So I
Wait, we don't want the funny. They want the poop, Martin.
made a port. Now the city has shipping access. Hooray! Okay, how about a train yard and some trains? Alrighty, bam, trains. A stop over here, a stop over here, some tunnels connecting them all, this cool train bridge thing. Nice. How about a metro stations, tunnels, metro lines? The attractiveness of was truly off the charts.
Oh.
And in the next couple of hours of playing, the population ballooned from 15,000 to 50,000 people.
That's not minuscule by any means. It's actually really good.
This, once again, unlocked a swath of new high-density buildings. So to cram even more people into my more and more limited space, I zoned a bunch of high-rises. Was well on its way to city glory.
Yeah.
But this huge influx did in fact cause a few issues. Namely, traffic. With so many people moving in all at once, car traffic coming into the city was truly huge. So to combat this, I came up with a genius idea. A wonderful, pleasant, beautiful urban highway.
Oh.
Currently, there's only one access point into the city. But
Yeah.
with our wonderful new urban highway and this cool bridge, there was now two.
Bridge.
Okay, highways are cool and all that, but what's the best way to merge a highway with another road? Gentlemen, it's time to dive into the wonderful world of interchanges.
Okay, yeah, it is an interchange. Okay. Yeah, no, it's actually a really genius way to get people on and off. I was about to say on-ramp, off-ramp, but I mean, that's just part of it. No, it's actually a really good way of doing it.
So, you're an urban planner, and you've got a problem. You've got this big road going this way, and another big road going this way.
Yeah.
How do you join them together? Well, with an interchange. There are several to choose from, and they all serve slightly different purposes. Trumpet interchange, three-way directional interchange, single-point urban interchange, cloverleaf, partial cloverleaf, diverging diamond, and everyone's favorite concrete abomination, the stack interchange.
Yeah.
Some of these interchanges are meant for moving traffic from one highway to another, like the stack interchange, while others are made for taking traffic off the highway and putting it onto a more accessible road. This is what we want for our new highway. So for this job, I chose the diamond interchange. Well, look,
It's really
pretty
popular,
basic
I'm
and
at.
honestly shit version of one, but a diamond interchange nonetheless. I repeated this basic shit design down the length of our wonderful stretch of road and ended up with this. Once that was done, it was time to build a cool bridge all the way back to the mainland and connect it up to the highway down there. This requires another interchange.
My God.
Hooray! For this job, we're using a three-way directional interchange. As the title says, it's three ways, directional, and an interchange.
Got him.
Yeah. Anyway, with that placed down, this wonderful new section of highway is open for business.
I think I have one of those.
You know what that means? More expansion.
Expand into space?
More expansion, of course, meaning huge influxes of new people. In just a few hours, the city managed to go from 50,000 population all the way up to 90,000.
That's large.
Huge swaths of new people making their way into the city via our new highway proved very quickly that the interchanges I had designed were in fact very bad, and I should feel bad about it. Fucking idiot, fucking stupid dumbass. Not to worry though, because one of my intercity trains I had the foresight of building was doing some serious heavy lifting.
Right.
A couple of them were even full, holding 800 passengers each.
Not,
All 800 of which
I
got
heard
off
that doorbell, and I was about to say, it's not delivery, it's DiGiorno. Now I want DiGiorno.
at one station, causing this wonderful cascade of bodies to come flooding out.
Amazing.
Filling the streets like some sort of gelatinous liquid.
Cube?
Beautiful. And with that, more expansion. I built more neighborhoods, and more thousands of people flocked to me. Tram lines, highways, thousands of spaces for new buildings. It was only a matter of time before the population skyrocketed yet again. Yeah, except it, didn't.
Stagnated?
For whatever reason, people had decided enough was enough, and they didn't want to move in anymore. What's worse is, for the life of me, I couldn't figure out why. Mousing over the citizen happiness meter revealed that citizens in my city were having a wonderful time.
Yeah.
Lots of wealth, reliable city services, and no poo in the drinking water.
Nice. Yeah.
Yet. This city is just
Oh, this is not pre-watched. Oh no.
good. So why then was no one moving in? During this whole time of expanding the city, I had assumed that offices are just plain better than industrial areas.
No.
You see, offices can be placed anywhere. So I'd just been placing them wherever I pleased.
Right.
Typically, right next to residential, so people wouldn't have to travel far for work. Unfortunately, there's a limit.
Oh.
At some point, people get sick of their keyboard slapping and need manufacturing jobs.
Right.
So I gave them what they wanted, and holy shit, a nice influx of tens of thousands of people. I passed over 100,000, then over 150. People were literally dying to get to my city.
perfect.
And predictably, the traffic was really bad. I expanded so much that I'd filled up the barrier island. I expanded down to the mainland, filling
Right.
it with a huge, expansive suburbia. I built over 100 elementary schools. The population grew still. I built these cool university buildings, the Large Hadron Collider, this needle-looking thing, and the
It's just we're gonna ignore that he just built the Large Hadron Collider. Just gonna ignore that.
population
No.
grew still. International airport, more suburbia, nuclear energy, more industry, trams, trains, more suburbia, highways, skyscrapers, incineration plants, more suburbia, infrastructure of all shapes and sizes. The city grew and grew and grew.
Big city, if you will.
And here we are, fellas.
It's just
300,000 citizens.
it's just Staten
I'm
Island.
pretty confident this is the largest city ever built in Cities Skylines 2. Now, let me ask you a question.
Uh-huh.
What are 300,000 people good at?
Eating.
Maybe making a lot of money, or using lots of incineration plants, or perhaps producing lots of digital goods.
We all know where this is going.
Yes, they are good at all of those things, but
But
they're most good at one thing in particular.
oh.
They are good.
Oh.
Gentlemen, I present to you the purpose of this city,
Oh no.
what everything has been leading up to. I present the Pucano.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah, the Halo music is fitting here. We'll see if it gets copyrighted. Wow. It's perfect. Everything about it is amazing. It's so good. 7 seconds, it might be
In
fine.
the ensuing Poonami, the entirety of was destroyed. Only one single person remained. The Pooh Man. If you'd like to beat my record and claim even more lives, pre-order this fantastic game with my link.
Oh, City Skyline 2 was out.
Goodbye.
Or maybe it was regular City Skyline. It's so funny, Johnny and Pooh, and they're laughing. It was funny! Funny Frogman said the things. That was actually really funny. It looks like a very interesting game. I'm very interested in that. I'm not super huge into games. I have to use my brain because I don't really have one. But This does seem like an interesting game to say the least, and I absolutely love that this this came to fruition. Thank you, Martin, for this. This was absolutely amazing. And if you haven't seen Martincitopants before, or maybe if you haven't seen the original, I definitely recommend going checking out the original. This was absolutely amazing.